This is our first in the series of training videos for the ESOP. ESOP is Employee Stock Ownership Plan. We are an ESOP. 30% of the company's shares are held by the ESOP. And as long as you last through the vesting period, you become an owner in the company. The ESOP's simple and complex at the same time. It's simple to join. You need to be employed by the company. You need to be here and qualify for entry on an entry date, and then you remain through the vesting period. And when you've made it through part of the vesting period, you become increasingly owner of shares of the stock. It's also complex in that it takes lawyers, CPAs, bankers, and appraisers in order to make and maintain it. But we have that underway now. This video is for you to help you understand the benefit of being a part of the ESOP, and it's also for me so that they can edit me out if I talk too much. Here we go. ESOP is a legal financial structure. It's created and protected by legislation. There are mandates that we have to follow each year in order to maintain it and support it. There's protection in the laws for the ESOP specifically, and also for the individual members and their interest in it. And so there are required steps that we have to follow each year. It begins with a year-end financial statement that describes how the company did for the previous financial year. When that statement's completed, it's submitted to a CPA firm, an outside auditor. They look at this and determine whether we followed proper practices for the creation of the financial statement and whether everything looks like it's in order. When they give an opinion and approve of what we've done, they submit this to the outside firm for an appraisal. An appraisal is done at this time by Prairie Capital, outside firm independent of both the CPA firm and Seaberg Industries. And they do this on an annual basis, establishing what the company's worth. That includes all of the assets and all of the operations and also the future earnings of the company. And they determine a share value based on all of that. This is turned into the trustee. The trustee forwards this to a third-party administrator. They take the portion of the ESOP that's paid for that year, and they, using the valuation per share that the third party's done, they do allocations of shares to all the members of the ESOP. The output of this is a report. The report is the value statement that you've got in your hand today. What you see on the screen before you is the value statement that you're going to receive on an annual basis. Line 1 on the value statement is the holdings that you had in the ESOP at the end of the previous year. Line 2 is the 2016 allocations. This is the percentage of the company that was paid for during 2016, and it's allocated according to your earnings as a percentage of total payroll. Line 3, those are shares that are allocated by redistribution. There may not be one on your statement this year, but typically, if someone left, they quit, they retired, or they passed away, or didn't complete the vesting, even though it had started an allocation, these would be turned into the ESOP and would be redistributed amongst the members. Line 4, this is the total of those 3 lines, and that total is yours. It's your ownership portion of Seaberg Industries. Line 5 is the valuation result. This is a per share value of the company, combination of the assets, earnings, and future earnings. Line 6 is your value. It's the number of shares that you're holding times the per share value that you hold. It's your dollar ownership portion of the company. Line 7 is your vesting. It's a 6-year vesting plan. At the end of the second year, you're 20% vested. So you get the current percentage of entitlement to the ownership of the company. Line 8 is the value of that percentage. It's your ownership portion times the percentage of vesting that you are. Rules govern all of these elements. We comply with the rules. All of the data that's compiled to create and maintain this is on the Team Seaberg website. It's there for review. You can read as much or as little as you want. There's also members of the ESOP committee that would field questions from you if you wanted a better understanding. ESOP really, it's a benefit to being here at the company. We're blessed, and we're blessed so that we can be a blessing. And that's one of the reasons that this was created in the first place. Take advantage of it, understand it, participate in it. If the company does well, the ESOP does well. What that means is this isn't for one person or for 5 people, but it's for all of us. We're committed to this process with the intention of becoming 100% ESOP, which would mean we're all owners of the company. Thank you.